So apologies for that. We did have to cut the stream and then restart to get those comments working. So hopefully they're working now below. So apologies for anybody who got cut off. So we did just have to restart the stream because of those comments not working previously. But we're all back now. Hopefully you've managed to find us again. Now that's another costume shiny. That's been around for quite a while now. It is a costume Stantler with the bells around its neck. Really nice costume, and it is a really, really nice shiny as well when it goes green. Super, super cool shiny. Psyduck on the Incense. No shiny Psyduck, unfortunately. Perhaps shiny Psyduck is a common wild spawn as well, and I've just been very unlucky and not seen any yet before this. We'll just clear out these. Not too bothered about saving any event Pokemon. If they're classed as 0-star, 1-star, 2-star, then they'll just go straight in the bin. We can go through the 3 stars at a later date. So hopefully you've managed to find the stream again. We're all back up and running. Oh, excuse me. So a lot of these Pokemon that are spawning currently in the wild are relatively easy to do excellent throws on. So if you are looking to try and get some XP, then this is definitely an event for you. 2 times catch XP and 2 times... 2 times catch XP. Obviously, if you look at that, then it's 4 times catch XP. And the excellent throws are very, very nice indeed. If you've not got a wet screen, that is. So I've not done the best example there on those Snovas. Hopefully we can reclaim that. Let me just wipe the screen and then we'll go again. These Snovas are notoriously quite easy to do an excellent throw on. Whether it's just because they're standing so far forward, and that means you can get it to throw a little bit better for the excellent throw. Esper? Tiny Esper. I was wanting a shiny one. Would have been very, very nice in the Snowbat. So is there any more raids down here? I don't know if that's hatched or whether it's currently an egg. It is a 1-star, but it's a 1-star shadow, so not going to be anything we particularly want during this event. So if you have managed to find me again, apologies, we had to cut the stream previously because the comments weren't working. I think the comments are working now, so if you'd like to get your comments in down below, ask me any questions about the holiday event and also about the events coming up on Pokemon GO or the Spotlight Hour tonight. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. We are so close to 1,100 subscribers now, which is incredible. So many, many thanks to everybody who has hit that subscribe button. I'd love to get to a point where we can do some giveaways on the channel and stuff like that. So it's only going to be made possible by you hitting that subscribe button. So please make sure to do that. So as I mentioned before, we are going to have to keep wiping this phone screen if the rain carries on. Lovely little Pikachu there in the background, made out of snow. It's amazing, the little effects like that. Does make a huge difference in making the event what it is. It was very much similar to the Halloween as well, with the the pumpkins in the background. I think we have even had some. Hey Ryan, how are you? Thanks very much for commenting. I was wondering whether the comments were working, but yeah, I'm fine, mate. How are you? So we might as well bin some of these non-event tasks. And 2 candies walking with your buddy. Are we close to doing that? Yes, we are. So we'll keep that in for now, and then we'll get rid of. Yeah, I'm good. How are you? How is everybody in the comments today? Hopefully you're a lot warmer and a lot drier than what I am at the moment. But we still have just over an hour of the stream, with Spotlight Hour starting in 5 minutes. And we'll get talking about that when it does start. But for now, we're just trying to focus on the daily adventure Incense, trying to get a glaring bird encounter. It's incredible how many times I've extended this daily Incense since those glaring birds have been really shiny. And yet, not only are we yet to see a shiny one, but I think ever since we've been really shiny, we've only actually had 4 glaring bird encounters, and that's got to be well over 100 hours of daily Incense now. Well over. So it's not very good numbers. I think we've had two Moltres. One of those was on the Go Wild area, where we had those safari balls, which drastically increased the catch rate. So we didn't manage to catch one of those during that event. Unfortunately, not shiny. That would have been far too nice. A nice easy catch of those safari balls. That would have been really too nice. But I would love a glaring bird encounter with this snowy background. That would be absolutely incredible. But we'll have to wait and see. We've got about an hour left of our daily Incense. Yeah, just under an hour. We can always extend it for another 6 minutes if it gets close to the 7 o'clock and we haven't. We've still got some walking to do. I'm just hoping this rain holds up a little bit. But there, let me know your thoughts on this holiday event. What are you most wanting shiny wise of this event? For me, it's a Psyduck. I would love a Dedenne as well, but that's the newest edition, so it's probably going to be about for the next couple of years in the next holiday events going forward. So whereas Psyduck, it's been around for a couple of years now, probably 1 year. This is probably your 2nd year now. So after a while, we stop recirculating them. You can obviously, going off what we know this year with Eevee and its little costume, its little hat, you can find that on research tasks, but that is the only way to encounter it on research tasks. So that makes it very, very difficult to get the shiny. And of course, very, very difficult to get the shiny set if you wanted to try and get one of each. So I can only hope that we try and get a Psyduck, blue Psyduck. It is such a nice shiny as well, the shiny Psyduck. And I think it would look incredible with this background. Almost like the Psyduck has got so cold that it's turned blue. It will be really, really cool. Yeah, let me know what your most wanted shiny is of this holiday event before the Spotlight Hour ticks around. And we'll be talking about that and trying to make the most of the excellent throws during the Spotlight Hour and the 2 times catch XP that the holiday event brings. So 2 times candy walking with your buddy, just managed to do that. We're just walking along this route as well. There was a rumour going around a couple of months ago that I'd read that a glaring bird is more likely to appear when you walk in a route. There was also other theories where a glaring bird was more likely to appear if you started your incense at 5:58 or 58 minutes past the hour. And then there was another one. Ooh, Dedenne off the incense. That's nice. That wasn't the trick for a glaring bird, but that's a nice spawn. So Dedenne does appear on incense. That is good to know. Did we catch it? Yeah, we did. So, and then there was another rumour with the glaring birds that if you encountered one in a specific place, maybe doing a route or in a specific place, remember that place and it has a higher chance of spawning in that same place again. So effectively keep doing the same route over and over again once you've seen a glaring bird, and you have a higher chance of it being on that said route again. Doesn't have to be an actual route in Pokemon Go, but a specific walk that you do. If you encounter a glaring bird in a certain area, remember that area, head back to that area when you've next got your daily incense on again, and it may be another glaring bird. But they're all rumours. A lot of people try and figure this out and trying to see if there's any sort of pattern. It probably just comes down to the nature of the game. It's just an RNG game, random new number generator, completely random when you're next going to see one. And I don't think there's much behind it, but we could try all these methods and see if any work for us, and you can as well. But it is Spotlight Hour now. You can see all the spawns have changed into Bergmite and Slugma, both of which have their shiny already released in the game. And they are both full odd shinies, not like the Sableye that we had a couple of weeks ago. And that was only because it has got a Mega Evolution. That Sableye was boosted to 1 in 128, as with all Mega Evolution Pokemon. But this one, Slugma and Bergmite, are both 1 in 512 odds. So we're going to have to be very, very lucky to get the shinies tonight. But another good thing about this is that they are relatively good to try and do those excellent throws on. So especially Bergmite. Bergmite is a nice one for those excellent throws. As you can see, we're nailing that. Slugma on the other hand is a little bit difficult, a little bit more difficult. Its circle is a little bit smaller than Bergmite's, so it does gain a little bit more harder. But you'll see my throws start off as excellent and then start deteriorating, and that's when we need to wipe the screen clear of all these raindrops. So before we get too depth into this, let's just see how much XP we're on so far. So 527,881. So if somebody can remember that or comment it down below, that'll be brilliant. 527,881. And then we'll see what we finish up on at the end of the video. But it is 2 times catch XP, and that's not one of the bonuses from the Spotlight Hour. We have had that bonus before, and we will have it again during the Spotlight Hours. But that instead is a bonus from the Holiday Part 1 event, which obviously started this morning at 10 AM. And wherever you are in your local time, it will also be the same. So that is the event going forward in this Holiday Part 1, which goes on until Sunday. So you can really make the most of that event. And of course, at the weekend as well, Community Day weekend, December Community Day weekend, which is a repeat of everything that's appeared as a Community Day Pokemon throughout the year. If you missed out on any, a great time to catch up, and also a great time to try and get perhaps a decent shiny. Perhaps you're wanting that 3-star Cyndaquil on the Classic Com Day, or perhaps a 3-star Beldum on the Classic Com Day that had previously. Then it's a really good chance to have a second go at trying to get what you want this weekend. And there's also loads more bonuses available this weekend during that Community Day weekend. But as we were saying, 2x catch XP currently with the holiday part 1. And then the Spotlight Hour has its own bonus. We also have 2x catch candy. So every single Slugma and Bergmite we're catching now will instead of having 3 catch candy, we'll now have 6. So you can see there Slugma has 6 catch candy after I've caught it. Now we'll just quickly wipe the screen again, and then we will try and hit some of these excellent throws to try and work on that XP. So we'll be taking our time a little bit today, walking up. We're in no massive rush. We're going to be getting rained on no matter what pace we're walking at. So we'll take our time, try and hit these excellent throws as much as we can, get the most out of the XP event, what's currently on. And we'll see as well if we can get any luck on our daily incense in terms of a Galarian bird. That would be really, really nice. So Swinub again spawning in the wild. Another nice one to try and get candies for Swinub. It is a really useful ice type, especially if you've got a decent shadow one. Shadow Mammal Swine is up there as one of the best, if not the best, ice type in the game. That is, of course, until the different forms of Kyurem come out. That might all change. But for now, a really solid ice type. Now, in terms of these Pokemon that are currently spawning during this Spotlight Hour, Bergmite and Slugma, none of them are particularly good in their field. So Bergmite, of course, evolves into Avalugg. Isn't really an amazing ice type. It has got a Hisuian version as well, which we had a raid day for a couple of years ago now. It was probably around the 23rd of December sometime. One in probably even, could be last year or the year before. So we have had a raid day for Hisuian Avalugg, and we'll probably get that featured again in raids throughout this holiday event at some point, or this holiday season, should I say. So make sure to keep an eye out for that if you haven't already got Hisuian Avalugg. But the normal Avalugg, of which Bergmite evolves into, isn't super good as an ice type, even though the ice types are quite weak in general on the game. There isn't many brilliant ice types on the game. It's not like some of the categories like the fire type and the water type and grass type, which are quite overpowered with how many different good counters there is. It is one of the lower pools. There's not many different things that are good ice types, but even with that in mind, Bergmite and Avalugg, its evolution, really struggle to fit into that ice type meta. So it's not a particularly good one to get for raids. Now, PvP wise, it might be useful. I'm not too sure. Me personally, I don't tend to do PvP, so maybe somebody in the comments can let me know on its PvP advantages, if it does have any. And then we have Slugma, which of course evolves into Marcargo. And for years, Marcargo was rumoured to have a Mega Evolution, and it never happened. Maybe in the new game, maybe. It's one of the Pokemon featured in that new game on the Nintendo Switch, which does bring back the Mega Evolutions again once more. So we will be having some new Mega Evolutions added to the Pokemon series. Maybe in the form of brand new Pokemon, maybe in the form of Pokemon we already know and love. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I think the new Nintendo Switch game, which comes out end of next year, I think, it is going to be the starter Pokemon on that game is going to be a mixture of starter Pokemon that have already been before. And I would hazard a guess that those will definitely Mega Evolve. So it is definitely worth trying to get good ones of those starter Pokemon going forward on community days. And of course, on this December community day, where you can try and get yourself a decent one before those new Mega Evolutions come out. And it may be one of the ones that you've managed to get a decent shiny one of. So definitely worth trying to work on those starter Pokemon on those community days going forward, because we don't quite know yet what the new Mega Evolutions are going to be and what's going to be featured. But Marcargo as a fire type, very much similar to Avalugg, doesn't break into the fire typing meta in terms of PvE for gym battles and for raids. But again, it might have some uses in PvP. I don't think I've seen many people using it in PvP, so perhaps not. But it might be a bit of a bizarre one to try and catch people off guard. But it is just a plain fire type, so it's probably going to be easily overcome with water type Pokemon. But definitely let me know in the comments down below, what is your favourite out of these two Pokemon, Slugma or Bergmite? Which do you prefer the design of the most, and also which one do you prefer the evolution of the most? Let me know down below. We'll just stop here a second and just catch these before we walk too far past them. Try and get those excellent throws. Now, shiny wise of these, I 100% prefer the Slugma. Goes to a lovely grey colour, a bit like magma does when it sort of dries up after you've seen the photos from volcano eruptions and stuff like that. It sort of looks like that after magma is dried up, goes to that grey colour. It's a really, really nice colour. Definitely suits magma. Sorry, not magma, definitely suits Slugma. But Avalugg, it's shiny, just looks like it's weed itself effectively. It goes to a yellow on the underneath. I can't get it out of my head that it just looks like Bergmite's weed itself. So we did manage to get a shiny Bergmite last night, actually. A home spawn, which turned shiny. So quite lucky to have that. So if you haven't already seen that on my YouTube shorts, then make sure to go ahead and have a look. Well, hopefully we'll be able to find a shiny this spotlight hour, and you'll be able to see for yourself how we've managed to scare Bergmite enough, encountering it to wee itself. I can't get my head out of it. That's definitely what it looks like. You can make your own mind up when you see one. We've messed up on a quick throw. Thank you very much for subscribing. Massive, massive help. I appreciate everybody who hits that subscribe button, so thank you very, very much for that. Let's see. Yeah, so friend code I'll put up in just a moment as well on the stream, and you can add me, take a screenshot of it, and you can add me whenever you can. Now let's just try and catch some of these before we walk too far ahead of ourselves here. So I'll put my code up on the screen in a moment, and then you can take a screenshot of it. And then you can add me whenever you want. Let me just try and catch some of these first, and then I'll put it up on the screen. We're nailing these excellent throws right now. Whether these are actually staying in or not is a different question. We'll try and use some Ultra Balls to try and make sure these stay in. Egg needs incubating. We'll put that 2K egg in there. Got an absolute line of Slugmas here, lining up, ready to be caught. So the weather is properly terrible here now. So I'll show the code just after I've caught these here, and before I start moving again. So 2 more Slugmas, or 3 more Slugmas should I say, to try and catch. No, unfortunately I don't spoof, so I have no idea how to work those sort of apps or whatever that you're talking about. I never have done. So friend code wise, you can add me. If you want to add me, make sure to take a screenshot of it now. I'll be going off it in just a second. Where is this shiny Bergmite? It would be really, really nice to get a shiny during the Spotlight Hour live on stream. Always nice to get one. And of course, we'll do the standard tradition when we're live on Spotlight Hour. If we do get a shiny, and people in the comments can nickname it, and it will forever be known as that nickname. So that is always something that we do on this channel. Can't be anything rude. Obviously, Pokemon won't let that be typed in anyway. But if you can find a funny nickname for one of these Pokemon, if we do manage to get it shiny, then we'll nickname it that in the comments down below. I'll pick the best one, and then we'll use that as its nickname forever. So definitely managing to nail these excellent throws on Bergmite. Slugma a little bit more challenging, as we mentioned before. Great throw only that time. Another Slugma off for daily Incense. Shiny Bergmite, let's go. Full odds shiny Bergmite from the Spotlight Hour. And as I was saying, it does just look like it's weed itself. So if you can think of any other explanation for that shiny, apart from the fact it's weed itself, then let me know, because that is definitely a Pokemon that's weed itself. Shiny Bergmite. 2-star, not too bad IVs actually, so not bad at all. So Shiny Bergmite, that is a +1. Make sure to get in the comments down below. What would you want to nickname that shiny that looks like it's just weed itself? So potentially you could use something along those lines. Get your comments in down below. We'll pick the most funniest one, and it will be forever known as that. So shiny Cryogonal is available, but no shiny Cryogonal this time. We obviously did have a Cryogonal research day about a year or so ago now. Maybe not that long ago. Perhaps the start of 2024, sorry. I'm already in 2025. It isn't even the end of December. Yeah, we have had a Cryogonal research day where it was available shiny for the first time. Obviously research days are notoriously higher shiny odds, so 1 in 10 shiny odds from that research day, and we managed to get quite a few shinies. It is a relatively speaking nice, very nice shiny, and I think it's the next one to appear as a Dynamax as well. So potentially next week we have Dynamax Monday, and it will be Cryogonal. So that's going to be a brand new one that's entered the frame. Obviously very similar to Krabby that got released Dynamax, and then we had a Max Monday for it the same day. I think Cryogonal is going to be a similar sort of thing. So it probably comes out in the holiday part 2, which starts on Sunday, and then we'll have a Dynamax Monday for it on the Monday. So that's going to be really, really good. I can only assume that it will be a 1-star with it being on a Max Monday, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully it only costs 250 max particles to take that down. But of course it doesn't have any evolutions. It is just one single Pokemon on its own. No Cryogonal evolution has been added to the game yet. Of course you can always revisit this and add them in a later date. Obviously things that spring to mind in that region is obviously Electivire, Rhyperior, and also Magmortar, all got added late to the game, in addition to the current evolutions that already exist. Of course, in a new Switch game, not the one that's not yet been released, but the most newest one, the Scarlet and Violet, we of course had well, the one before it actually, we had Rhydeer, which was the Stantler evolution. We also had Cypher's new evolution, Cleavor. That was it. Struggled for its name. I know I kept on thinking of Sizzle. But yeah, Cleavor. So Cypher can evolve into either or. Unfortunately, you can't do that on Pokemon GO though. It's a little bit annoying. You do have to get a Cleavor from a raid. You can't evolve into Cleavor like you can with different Pokemon like Glade, for instance, and Gardevoir. You can choose which one it evolves into, or Glalie and Frostlass. If it's a girl, then you can choose which one it goes into. So it's a little bit annoying that we didn't do that with Cleavor. We did put it on a raid day, so that's probably the reason why. It means that you've got to get it as a different Pokemon, as an individual Pokemon. It means obviously they can make more money off you that way. So all the credit to them for doing it that way. So Sandygast just spawned. Only a great throat on the Sandygast. Full storage again. Do need to go through this storage. Probably all the Dynamaxes that I'm keeping for trash trade, trying to do light for light with them, try and get better ones. They won't be helping. Probably definitely more than 150 of those now what I've kept for trading, so that is definitely not going to help the storage space. Just need to find somebody to trade with. Tiny Slugma being haunted by that Sveal snowman in the background. Would be very nice to be able to get one each of Bergmite and Slugma on the Spotlight Hour. Shinies, that is. Of course, at the end as well, we'll check IVs and see if we manage to get any hundos. And we will check the XP as well, what we've earned during the Spotlight Hour. Like I was mentioning before, the bonus of the Spotlight Hour is 2 times catch candy, but the current bonus during the holiday event part 1, which lasts until Sunday, is 2 times catch XP. So obviously you can benefit from both of those bonuses during this Spotlight Hour. And of course, Bergmite candy can be used to power up Hisuian Avalugg as well. So if you did manage to get a decent Hisuian Avalugg when it had its raid day a couple of years ago now, and you've not yet since been able to power it up, then this is a really, really good time to get the candy to be able to power it up. Like I was mentioning before, it's not a super impressive Pokemon to use in raids and one thing or another. But of course, if you have got a Shundo, for example, if you're a bit like me, no matter what Shundo you've got, it always ends up being level 50. So that is definitely worth trying to get the candies during this Spotlight Hour, if that is the case. Messed up on a quick throw that time. But in good news, it does appear to have stopped raining, or at least eased down. So we're not having to wipe the phone as much as what we did before. In fact, we'll just wipe it one last time just to get rid of those last few raindrops, and hopefully it'll stay dry for the rest of the hour. Fingers crossed. So that means we can hopefully get on to doing these excellent throws a bit more consistently and racking up that XP that brings. Is that a wild chandelier I've just had off my daily adventure incense? It is indeed a wild chandelier. Very nice spawn, and a level 1 as well. Of course, can't be shiny, it being the final evolved form. It is very, very far back, so it becomes very, very difficult to throw at. In fact, I can't seem to hit it. There we go, we hit it that time. But level 1 chandelier, hopefully it stays in the ball first time, because we struggled like hell then to try and hit that really far back. Not overly impressive IVs, but still a relatively speaking cool daily adventure incense spawn, with it being a level 1 and being a chandelier. Again, really, really nicely designed Pokemon chandelier. It's a very, very good ghost and fire type as well, so it falls into the category for being both a good ghost and fire. So we have one Shiny Bergmite during the Spotlight Hour. Can we get a second Shiny Bergmite, or can we get Slugma. Haven't had a shiny Slugma for quite some time now. Like I mentioned before, we did have a Bergmite yesterday, and we had one today during the spotlight hour. Now, of course, if you do want one of these shinies and you haven't had your spotlight already, then you can use the opposite adventure effect from the origin form, so the Dialga and Palkia. If you use Dialga like me, you'll get the extended time. Hey, how are you? So if you do use Dialga as me, you'll get the extended time with any items that you put on, including Lucky Egg, Incense and Star Piece. But if you use the opposite, so with Palkia Adventure Effect from the Origin Palkia, got a bad shiny, which one of? So if you do use the Origin Palkia Effect, which is Spatial Rend, then you'll get those increased spawn distance. So if you are looking for a shiny on a spotlight hour, any particular spotlight hour you see coming up, and you see a shiny that you really, really want, then you can definitely try and use that Spatial Rend and have a better chance of seeing more Pokemon near and around you, which of course increases your shiny chances. So shiny Bergmite, I've had a shiny Bergmite as well during a spotlight hour. It's an absolute terrible IV. Well, it's not too bad actually. The one from last night that I had was terrible IVs. I had a home spawn that appeared, and that one was terrible. This one was a 2-star, so not terrible, but not brilliant either. Definitely not something to shout home about, but it's in that middle range. But we managed to get that during the spotlight hour. Nobody's yet nicknamed it, so if you can find a nickname, a funny nickname, then we will nickname it, and it'll forever be known as that in my storage. Let's get another 2k again, and let's get these Bergmites caught, which are just hiding behind the back of this gem here. But it definitely looks like a Pokemon that's weed itself. Shiny Bergmite. Never eat yellow snow. Definitely comes to mind when you see a shiny Bergmite. But yeah, if you can think of a decent nickname for the shiny Bergmite which we've caught tonight during Spotlight Hour, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll name it the most funniest and peculiar name. Obviously, no rude names. We can't even type those in Pokemon GO. But if you're tuning in for perhaps the first time on the stream, then thanks very much for watching. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the channel. It does make a huge, huge difference. It means I'll be able to do more things going forward in terms of being able to probably do some giveaways as well, which will be really, really nice. That would be super, super cool to be able to do on the channel. Anything that we can probably give back to the community, give back to the fan base, that would be amazing. So it's only going to be made possible by you hitting that subscribe button and building up that subscribers, so that we can start doing different things like that. Slugman just jumped out of the way then. That was definitely going to be an excellent throw. Just jumped out of the way. Knew the ball was coming in and just leaped over it. Pull me off a daily incense is now being very, very annoying. In fact, I've just gone to the pineapple by accident. Again, we'll just slow down and catch these Bergmites around here. Are these going to stay in the ball or not? Maybe a great ball will be the best way to try and make them stay in. Slugma on the daily incense again. No shiny still. Still looking for the shiny slug. We have got the shiny iceberg already. 2 in the last 2 days actually, so don't want really any more of that. I won't be disgruntled if it's a 3-star shiny though. But I would definitely like another shiny Slugma. We've had one in the past before, I think. We'll check at the end to see how many we've got of each in total from before this event. But I think we're definitely lacking on Slugma in comparison to Bergmite. So a few more Slugmas would be very, very nice indeed. 34 minutes gone of the spotlight hour. We have 8 minutes left of our Dialga roar of time, and then we've got 11 minutes on our daily incense. So we're roughly around about 19 minutes of that daily incense, which would take us up to about 6:54. So we might extend it for another 6 minutes when we get closer to the time, depending on where we are. But so far, that daily incense has not been spawning any good spawns. Of course, we did start it pre the spotlight hour, so we did have some half decent spawns. Now it just seems to be overtaken by Bergmite and Slugma, which is not going to help any chances of us getting those glaring birds. We have had a few obscure spawns off the daily incense though. During the spotlight hour we had a chandelier, level 1 chandelier appear just back there really, and then we had a pancham as well appear, which is still a shiny I'm chasing. Still haven't got a shiny pancham. That is a really, really nice shiny as well, especially when it goes to Pangaroo. Absolutely love that shiny Pangaroo. So we'll try and do some research tasks around here and see what we can get in terms of encounter wise. Hopefully we get some. Oh, make an excellent throw. That was relatively easy. See if we can spin that one. We can't. A couple more stops coming up, so we can get those tasks on there. See what they are. There's quite a few things happening around this gym. Let's see if we just can reach that stop there. We can. Might have already done the task on that one, or we might already have it in. Might be that ground one that we've already got. So is there going to be any grey slug on the channel tonight? No, I'm not talking about anyone particular in the comments on that regard, but mainly the shiny Slugma. Super cool looking shiny. Doramoka is a nice wild spawn as well to see during this event. It's going to be a very, very useful Pokemon when its Zen forms get released. Obviously it has the Galarian version and the normal version of Doramoka and Darmanitan, which both have a Zen mode, so they get even stronger. And already Darmanitan, the normal fire one, is a very, very good shadow Pokemon to obtain. But it is also a very, very good, and the ice one, the non-shadow, which hasn't had its shadow yet released, it is a very, very good ice type attacker. In fact, up there with one of the best, just behind Shadow Mamoswine, but it is better than normal Mamoswine. So really, really top ice type attacker. And obviously the Doromoka candy works for both types. So if you catch a fire one, you can use that candy to power up the ice one. So it doesn't really matter. Try and obtain as much Doromoka candy as you can during this event and during any events where it's spawning, because it's not yet known, but those Zen modes, I believe, will be some of the best Pokemon in the game in terms of fire and ice types. Probably falling into the Shundo legendary category. Obviously, Shundo legendary means Pokemon that aren't legendaries but probably have just as high attack stats as legendary Pokemon. Some more examples of those are the likes of Salamence. Obviously, Tyranitar as well falls into that category. Rampardos as well. Those are sort of a elite level Shundo legendaries. So they're also ones that are probably right up there in their categories, in their typings, as some of the best attackers in the game. And yet they are, relatively speaking, a lot more easier to obtain and a lot more easier to get the candy for than legendaries, which you can obviously only obtain through doing 5-star raids when they come around as well. So they're not around all the time like some of those Pokemon might be. However difficult they are to find. Another excellent throw there. Make 3 great throws we've got as a task. Not even in a row, so hopefully we can do that relatively quickly. We'll just switch to the Ultra Balls. Great Balls is running a little bit low. We'll use those Ultra Balls just to try and get some of these caught. So let me know in the comments below if you've already done your Spotlight Hour tonight. Did you manage to get any shinies? Or if you haven't yet done it, which one of these would you prefer shiny the most? Which one are you most wanting? Or are you after both of them? Have you not yet got either of these shinies? Let me know down below. There we go. Excellent throw on that Slugma. Took a bit. We got there. So we've got 18 minutes left of the Spotlight Hour. Is there only one more 1-star raids about? There's that shadow on there. We'll have to see if there's any more as we're walking back up in which way we came. Excellent throw on Bergmite. Not as easy to do on Slugma, but still amazing to do it. Now, of course, if you are relatively speaking comfortable on doing these excellent throws on these two Pokemon, then of course you can put a luck egg on, make the most of that current 2 times catch XP and turn that into 4 times catch XP with a luck egg, meaning that you'll get around about 4,500 XP per excellent throw, which will be an insane amount. We'll catch the ones around here and then we'll start heading back the way in which we came. So there's a couple around this gym here. Try and click on these without clicking on the gym by accident. Pokemon storage full again. Clear out. Let's get rid of anything that falls into that category. So those are absolute lifesavers, those favourites that you can set up on the searches. If you do a search and then you go onto your storage and go on the search button, you can see any favourites across there. But if you go onto recent, if you click see more there, you can see any recent searches that you've done. And then if you hold down on one of those recent searches, for example, there, you can see there that it has now gone into my favourites, and then from there you can rename it or you can remove it, because that was just an example. But you can really set yourself up some search strings to save you some time clearing out storage. Like a huge time saving benefit. It does take a little bit of time just to set up, but once you set that search string up, it virtually works for every single event. Of course, there might be certain events where, for example, the Go Wild area, where you have to set up a different search string because normally that would delete Snorlax, for example, but you might want to keep those Snorlaxes because it has a costume. So you can specify with a different search string for specific events, but 9 times out of 10, that one search string that I've got works for majority of events, and it only keeps the things that I want to save. So that's rare spawns, including the likes of Sinisty, for example, or Dreepy, or the likes of anything I want for Trade XL. So Cranidos, for instance, guaranteed Trade XL. When that season comes around, I'll trade those with a friend, any that I've saved up from now until that season comes back around. So really good, handy tool, that favourite search bar. Make sure to try it out for yourself. Well, now we'll start heading back up the way in which we came, and we will hopefully be able to add to that one Shiny Bergmite that we've currently got. So close to an hour now where we've been live this second time round. We had to cut the stream off early the first time round. The comment section wasn't working. So if you are joining us again, thanks very much for sticking around and those technical difficulties that we had at the start of tonight's Spotlight Hour. With 10 nice throws, we'll get rid of that. With Doromoka spawn off a daily. Excellent throw that time. It's a nice one, excellent throw. Slugma. Not amazing, excellent throw that time. Let's see if we can get it second time around. Still no. That time it did catch or run. Excellent throw on Bergmite. Definitely the easier out of the two excellent throw. from my opinion. 2 keg again, Litleo. So I don't think these 2 kegs have got anything event-wise inside, but we will try and hatch a couple of eggs during the spotlight hour. We have just completed that 2 egg task, so we'll just claim that reward and see what we get from that encounter. It isn't an event one, but it is Esper, so a nice encounter to try and get. Still trying to get a second shiny Esper. I think I've got 1 already. So 10 minutes left of the spotlight hour. 1 shiny Bergmite in the pocket. No shiny Slugma, unfortunately. But maybe in the last 10 minutes we can change that. So frozen in your tracks. Let's do that rocket and see what it is. Could just be a swing up. That'll be a nice one. Or it could be a Snorunt, which it is. So probably a worser out of the 2, but still we'll manage to do this pretty quickly with these Reshurams. And then we can get on to catching the last 10 minutes of spotlight hour, seeing if we can get a shiny Slugma to add to our Bergmite, or maybe even a second Bergmite. One with decent IVs this time, hopefully. And of course, as we always do at the end of a video, we'll see if we've got any hundos. We'll do a little bit of a review at the end of the video, see if we've got any hundos of either Bergmite or Slugma. And we'll also see what shinies we've got in total of each. See if we needed one more than the other during the spotlight hour. And of course, we'll just check the XP as well. Try to remember how much we were on before. So hopefully we've added a fair bit to that amount now. We've had 2 times catch XP during this holiday part 1 event. So we'll see how much we've added to that in just a space of an hour. Hopefully these Bergmite excellent throws are going to help to that total. If he's been catching, that is. Unfortunately, that one didn't catch. Did that time though. Huge Bergmite. Showcase on this one is Dedenne. Let's jump on that and see if we can get the top rank 3, so not brilliant. Hopefully we can get a bigger Dedenne and replace that as the event goes on. Wooloo off a daily incense. Now Wooloo gets an own costume, a costume of its own in the holiday part 2 event. That does look a very, very nice costume. And of course it is a very, very nice shiny as well. To be able to get a shiny costume Wooloo will be amazing. It's definitely something I'm going to be hunting for in the holiday part 2 event. Another brand new costume shiny to be going after. But this time around it's Dedenne, and then next week it will be the return of Wooloo. Well, I say return. It hasn't yet had its holiday costume out before. This is its first time of it having a holiday costume. It'll be a very, very nice addition to the game. I do like how they're mixing it up with these costumes, and it's not always the same Pokemon. It's not always the Kanto starters or Pikachu. We do mix it up from time to time and add these additions in. So what's that challenge from that stop? Catch 15 fire type. Should be able to do that relatively quickly with Slugmas. I say as there's one Slugma surrounded by 5 Bergmites. There is a daily adventure Incense done. 61 Pokemon caught. No glaring bird encounter again. Unfortunately, probably a bit overtaken by the Spotlight Hour spawns. Catch 10 Pokemon is complete. Event 1, which gives us Eevee. Not a very good CP, 438. Not too sure what the Hundo one is, but I did have a 450 before, and that was a 3-star, but not an amazing 3-star. So 438 is going to be very, very terrible. I would hazard a guess. Potentially even a 2-star. Another catch 10 Pokemon. And we've of course got that catch 10 ground type, which gives us Sandygast. Storage is full yet again. Don't want to see any more, but see less. There we go. Use that search we've already set up. Excellent throw on that Slugma, and yet I don't think it stayed in the ball. Excellent throw on that one, and it did. But let's retry this one with an Ultra Ball. There we go, it stayed in that time. Struggling to catch that Bergmite with an excellent throw. I've hit that a couple of times now, and it's still not staying in the ball. Has got that red ring around it though, so it is obviously a lot higher level than the ones we had previously. Let's try an Ultra Ball. There we go. That time it did catch. Sandygast, no shiny, unfortunately. Very, very corking shiny Sandygast. Really great addition to the game. Goes to a black colour. Looks amazing as a shiny. 10 Pokemon. Again, another Eevee. 445 this time, so a little bit better than that 438 we had before. But still not amazingly brilliant. Catch 20 Ice type. We know is Cryogonal. We'll get rid of that one. We don't really need the Cryogonal shiny. We're having that research day a couple of months ago now. Towards the start of this year. If not the back end of last year now. So catch 15 fire type Pokemon. We've got that one twice. And we've only got 3 more minutes left on our Spotlight Hour. And then we'll have a quick review. And then we'll be seeing how many hundos we've got and seeing how much XP we've got as part of that review. And then we'll be ending the stream. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, and also get your comments in down below as well. What do you think of this holiday part 1 event? What are you most wanting during the Spotlight Hour tonight? Let me know down in the comments below. So excellent throw on Bergmite is relatively easy to do, but does not like staying in a ball. Slugma there, that will help with the fire types. Seems like it's been on purpose, really. We've got that those 2 fire type quests in, and then we aren't seeing any Slugmas appearing during the spotlight hour at the moment, which isn't ideal with having those 2 tasks in. But of course, we can always finish them with the normal holiday event spawns that are appearing. But it would have been a relatively easy way to do those tasks, but we still have got less than a minute now, so potentially we can work on a few more numbers towards that task. What are we on now? We're on 5 and 2. We need to catch 15, so a couple more Slugmas to try and work away through that task a little bit more, make it a little bit more easier when the spotlight hour ends. That'll be nice. In fact, we have a Bergmite. And there we go. It has despawned. That Bergmite's remained there, but all the others have despawned. We have turned 7 o'clock now, which means the spotlight hour has finished, and we managed to get 1 shiny during the spotlight hour. We managed to get a shiny Bergmite. So if we have a quick look at that one, you can see there, shiny Bergmite. Still no nickname for it, so let me know if you can find a funny nickname for this. We will nickname it right here and right now, and it will forever be known as that nickname in my Pokemon storage. So make sure to get your comments in down below and nickname this shiny. But 1 shiny Bergmite during the hour. Let's see how many shiny Bergmites we've had in total. In fact, now 3 of those are Hisuian Avalugs, so 9 in total, so 6 normal shiny Bergmites. So what about shiny Slugma? How many shinies of those have we had in the past? Obviously none tonight, but we have only had 3 shiny Slugmas, so big difference, double the amount of Bergmites than Slugmas, but still Slugma is a very, very nice shiny, and can't believe it was actually 2022 when that got released shiny, but an unbelievably nice shiny, especially when it goes into more cargo. So really, really cool shiny, that one. Now XP wise, we had of course the 2 times catch XP for the holiday event, and then we also had the 2 times catch candy for the spotlight hour. So XP wise, we've made a bit of a mental note of how much we had before. 518,881. So you can see, sorry, 527,881. So you can see we ended around about 500,000 XP during that spotlight hour, which is decent going. Obviously it was raining as well, so we couldn't hit those excellent throws as we wanted at the start of the spotlight hour, but 500,000 XP in just under an hour, or just over an hour, is relatively speaking really, really good going, especially with no friendship bonuses. And that XP bonus is going to be with us right up until Sunday. So Sunday, when the Holiday Part 2 event takes over, it might even carry on into that Holiday Part 2 event. So definitely try and work on your excellent throws with this Holiday Part 1 event and all the wild spawns that are currently spawning. Make the most of those 2 times catch XP during the event and get catching those Pokemon. So that has been Spotlight Hour. Thanks very much for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel as well, turn on that notification bell, and tune in next week for Spotlight Hour, but also keep an eye out for all the other videos coming up on my channel in the next couple of days. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.